don't you just hate it when you're being sold something and they're making you feel pressured, like you're running out of time? This is the one time offer. Oh, I really don't enjoy it. Now, I understand that sometimes with sales and you're facing the person in the environment where they can, where, that environment, that opportunity is the only way that they can register and join up, and there's an offer and it's only available there and then. I completely understand. But to replicate that in every process, I think is tricky. How do we create this urgency without pressure? How do we use our brand communications effectively without pressure in order to get our audience to do what we want them to do? So, welcome to this 21-day course about brand communications, and we're in the sales part. The last week of this 21-day course, we're in the sales part. This is week 3, and on day 20 we are talking about creating urgency without pressure. It's been so wonderful to have you here. My expertise is in communications and in public relations, and I've been in the game for more than 20 years. I'm a chartered public relations practitioner. I'm here to help you level up your strategic thinking, and that's what Serena's playbook is about. But when we're talking about effective brand communications, we have to look at sales, especially because I have found sales super icky, and I've got plenty of stories that I've been sharing with you, especially in week 3. How do you create urgency without pressure? Now, the standard sales advice that we normally are given to utilize is give them a reason to act now, but make sure you don't manipulate them. But the thing is, sometimes we know that when we're being sold something, we are being given this sort of false scarcity, like, no, this isn't running out, I can get this from elsewhere. So how do you create this feeling of, oh, FOMO, but make it more genuine? I think what helps, and I will say it and I'll say it again, you need to dig into the other episodes uh, where I'm talking about your engagement systems, your stakeholders, your audience awareness. Why? When you have a much more zoomed out approach and you are aware of the multiple things that are of interest here, you can create a much more convincing argument which can replace that pressure uh angle, where you're having to create this urgency and this pressure. What if you're creating significance? Can significance replace the sense of urgency, where this is significant for you now because I know this is where you're at, and I know this is what you're facing, and I know this is what you're worried about, and I know this is what confronts you on a day to day. Having this awareness of these multiple facets and touch points that your audience segment goes through can create this, I've significantly seen you and I've significantly appreciated where you're sitting and what you're about. As an example, when I'm doing media and political commentary, and I am, as it happens, a ground news affiliate, I know when I'm promoting ground news to my audience, I am describing the features of ground news, and I've done a features versus benefits or benefits versus features episode, and I actually said benefits and features, by the way. Dig into that. I know that I am speaking to my stakeholder, which is at that time the audience, about their desire to know the media that they're consuming is owned by, where is it sitting on a political spectrum, and what is the factuality rating, how high is it in terms of factuality. And that is painting a picture for them to feel seen. Serena knows I care about my critical thinking. Serena knows that I'm grappling with all this media noise and I want a much more conscientious media diet. And then I can offer them and I tell them that there is a link for a discount on a ground news subscription because I am an affiliate and this is why I use it. I have painted and pointed to I've painted a picture and pointed to the multiple areas of interest that they have, and to significantly connect with them. Now, there is still no urgency there, there is no pressure, but can urgency and pressure always be present? It's not. Unless there's a time bound, um, a time bound subscription offer, a time bound discount. But if there isn't, what do we do in that instance? Well, what we're doing in that instance is saying, right now, so again, I'll paint the picture of my own experience, and you could perhaps use one of your own. Um, so I'm looking at a political electoral cycle, and voting is about to happen. That creates a time-bound nature. You want to be informed before you cast your vote. You want to be informed before you're consuming all of this content. Go for it. There's some time-bound nature, but that's required me to have a lot more awareness of what else is going on for my audience, what is else is of interest to them. If you are selling clothing and it's seasonal, you've already got time bound urgency uh, there already, because spring is round the corner. There are seasonal weather changes, they're all around the corner. You may also have I'm trying to think of another potential business. Gardening, that's also seasonal. And pruning, there's a season for that. Through your storytelling or through your communications, you've got to find what the time-bound nature of it is in order to get that urgency without the pressure. You're painting the picture by understanding where are they in their process, what are the sort of time-bound things going on that apply to them that could be pertinent and important. You don't need to say, "Get this now," or "You're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it." Is that on Vogue? Can't remember the song, but well, I do remember the song, can't remember the singer. But I don't like that nature, that sort of urgency and that pressure. I don't respond well to it, and if I give in to it, I regret it afterwards, and I beat myself up, and I'm like, "Why did I? Why did I? Why did I?" Um, I will say this though, because this is about brand communications, and because of course you may be marketing a product and there is a 24 hours for new sign-ups or something of that nature built in, because there might be time-bound nature going on. What I will say is you still have an opportunity to tell a story. You still have an opportunity to look at other facets, other hooks, to make it much more meaningful and significant. Now, for brand communications, we're not doing strictly sales, so we have to do this. We absolutely have to do this. Now, what urgency can I put in here for you to really dig into the 21 days? You are a brand builder, brand owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a media and comms student, you're somebody who really needs to understand how to communicate effectively. You need to also level up your strategic thinking as a brand communicator, as somebody who's managing brands, managing a business. And all of this is going to help you on a day-to-day basis. So the time-bound nature is you need this on a daily basis. You need to improve your reflexive thinking, um, and to more powerfully, strategically think about your brand and your business on a day-to-day basis. And you can only iterate on that. You can't do that through, oh, this is just one day or one book and that's it, I'll get it. No, it's iterative. You have to do it daily, which is why I'm saying come back to me daily. That's the urgency, because you've got to chip away at any thinking traps you may have, any blocks that you may have that stop you from really doing this effectively. But that's what I found as soon as I started my master's in systems thinking, and it's been 2 something years now, and I'm in the final few months doing my dissertation. I was like, "Whoa, I wish I'd started it in my 30s. I'm doing postgraduate study in my 40s. I really wish I'd done this sooner, because this has unlocked parts of my brain. I thought I was a critical thinker before. Now, wow, I am just flying, Fly me to the moon. So it's been wonderful to have you here for the 21 days. Remember, look at all the possible time-bound nature of what you're trying to communicate in order to get the engagement and interest of your audience. Remember, I have 7 strategic zones. You can look them up. I have playlists separate playlists for each one of those zones, so check those out. It's been absolutely wonderful to have you here. 21 days of effective brand communications tutorials. Day 21, we're going to integrate. See you on day 21. Fly me to the moon. Do 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 do.